to all the dispossessed youth of Africa, for perpetuation of communion with ancestral spirits through the fight for African freedom, and in the firm faith that the dead, the living, and the unborn will unite to build the destroyed shrines. Selah. Hello and welcome, beloveds, to another episode of Wake Up Africa on the Dr. Mumbi Show. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. Thank you so much to every single person that has subscribed to this channel and our primary channel, Dr. Mumbi Show. This is the channel where we're getting ready, beloveds, to dive deeper. And right now we're just laying the groundwork, laying the foundation for us, because we have to realize, and I've been saying this for so long, we're spiritual beings having a physical experience. And I've explained, actually I did a video recently explaining what that kind of looks like, hoping that, it will serve as a key to your own inner kind of a transformation and unlock your own overstanding, inner standing, and understanding. Thanks to everyone that supports us on Patreon and enables us to continue to bring all the information that we bring. And of course, all honor, all praise goes to the great mothers, Nyobaya Mobi, which is the House of Mumbi. I'll be getting into what that is in future episodes. It's funny that exactly 10 years today, 10 years ago this year, the Center for Disease Control, which is the main health wing of the divided states, and they've created many ones across the world. There's even an Africa Center for Disease Control still run from the divided states. Those are stories for another day. But 10 years ago today, they actually released a plan for what they called a zombie apocalypse. And a lot of people, beloveds, now believe that we're entering those seasons and times. Because you see, everything that's happening with the little needle, everything that's happening with the pandemic is literally going to create, zombies, if I can say that. And I can't get too deep into that, but it's just weird that 10 years ago, they planned for a zombie apocalypse. And first of all, the managing director of the Public Health Preparedness and Response, he actually wrote, the rise of zombies in pop culture has given credence to the idea that a zombie apocalypse could happen. In such a scenario, zombies would take over entire countries, roaming city streets, eating anything living that got in their way. The proliferation of this idea has led many people to wonder, how do I prepare for a zombie apocalypse? Now, this may seem like a total joke. And in fact, the CDC actually had to come out recently, like 10 years later, and explain why they even released such a a preparedness package for the zombie apocalypse. They came out and they said that the reason they had done it was kind of to help children figure out their website, or some lame excuse. But, and even what this guy says, his name is Ali S. Khan, it shows you, beloveds, the power of predictive programming, the power they have when they put these ideas into the atmosphere. And then you pay to go have your mind programmed through these movies. And then we see it happening because the body doesn't know. And I'll do a separate show on this, actually, so I won't get too deep in this. But the body doesn't know. The subconscious mind, which is the most powerful mind, doesn't know the reality from imagination. But I'll get into that in another episode. So, you see, he was saying that because so many movies have been released about a zombie apocalypse, they should prepare for one. And it would just basically be people who have some kind of switch in them, where they can be controlled. They can literally be made to, feel lethargic, feel tired, feel a certain way. Some people feel that maybe there'll even be a kill switch in people where we'll just see people toppling over. But the zombie warning, who was actually the brainchild of this guy called Dave Deigel, who headed the communications for the CDC's preparedness department. And he was the one who was, and he said, we were talking about hurricane season, which begins, blah, blah, blah. And then they went into the zombie. But they got into such detail, beloveds. They got into such detail. And I think that, I've been talking about being prepared. And this is what the people who are coming to create the chaos for you telling you to be prepared about. And I think, so they say that the first thing you need to do is to prepare an emergency kit. And this includes water, food, and other supplies. So they even give you the numbers. So a few items they said that you should include in this kit is one, water. And they say 1 gallon per person per day. So if you're a family of 4, you need to be storing up at least 4 gallons a day. So how much would that be if you calculate it by 30 days? I mean, this is what they're thinking. Because I say 30 days is the good, with everything that we saw, with everything that happened in Texas, etc., it's really good to have at least a 30-day whatever. So then they say food, stock up on non-perishable items that you eat regularly. They talk about stocking up on medications that include prescriptions and non-prescription meds like Band-Aids, etc., spirit, the bandages, etc., sanitation and hygiene. So they talk about household bleach, soap, towels for women, sanitary pads, or even just start making your own cotton ones, etc., that you can just wash. They talk about tools and supplies such as knives, duct tapes, batteries, battery-powered radio, these little solar lamps that we have, etc. Yeah, I'm even adding my own things now. They say, clothing and bedding, a change of clothes for each family member, blankets for each family member, etc., raincoats, etc. Then they say important documents, copies of your passport, driver's license, birth certificates, to name a few, in case you have to evacuate your area. And then they talk about first aid supplies, and then they even say, although you're a goner if a zombie bites you, you can use these supplies to treat basic cuts and lacerations. And they really go into the details of how zombies will be able to affect other zombies by a bite, and then all of a sudden, you've seen it. And I mean, haven't you seen how many video games before, like even, woke shows show all these zombie situations? And people are running through tunnels, etc. That's why, beloveds, really stay strong, stay uplifted. I've shared some of these already, and there's some really good prepper shows out there that you can get information on, and always just use your own discernment and spirit. Let spirit guide you. Let your guides, the spiritual team that is behind you that you may not see in the unseen world, guide you to the information that you may need to get your family prepared. Remember, every single time you go to the supermarket, make sure you get that extra food, that extra water, for your family, and beloveds, prepare. Because they said this 10 years ago, and, there's something about them telling us stuff and how that triggers a lesser magic, almost like our subconscious vibe. But anyway, do you believe there'll be some kind of zombie apocalypse? Either way, beloveds, that's a matrix. That's what the matrix is creating for themselves. That's why I keep saying, get into your own narrative as much as possible. Get up every day and do something that is towards just you, your homestead, your family, your future. You know what I mean? Get up and plant a few trees. Get up and sit in nature. Get up and just do something that will occupy your mind. Make one step in front of the other. And eventually you'll realize that you're mentally and spiritually and physically liberated, because this world is about to get crazy. Until next time, tuko pamoja.